Getting in, lads. The U-20 World Cup roster for the U.S. national team has officially been released today, this morning. So as I did with the usmnt March camp, I'm going to do a little reaction, and so you can hear my thoughts about our roster this year, which I'm very excited for, by the way. My name is Elijah. Welcome to the Get in Football podcast channel. If you're interested in more U.S. men's national team content, youth national team content, U.S. soccer, all that kind of stuff, please subscribe. Consider subscribing. We have a lot of content coming out for the near future for MLS and U.S. men's national team and all that jazz. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing. Hit the notifications button so you know when those get released and you can be one of the first to watch it. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the whole roster in case you don't know who's on it, and then I'll give you my reaction to it. So starting off in goalkeeper, Alexander Bordeaux from Fulham, Antonio Carrera from FC Dallas, and Gaga Slonina from my love Chelsea are the three goalkeepers that the US will be taking to Argentina. The other two are definitely promising, but I think Gaga Slonina is just the lock number one keeper here. For defenders, Justin Shea from Hoffenheim, Brandon Craig from Philadelphia Union, Mauricio Cuevas from LA Galaxy, Marcus Furcronis from LA Galaxy, Jonathan Gomez from Real Sociedad, Caleb Wiley from LA United, and Joshua Winder from Louisville City FC. Also, apologize if I get any of these names wrong. Of course, these aren't names I'm going to hear on a daily basis, so if I do get them wrong, please correct me, please let me know. In midfield, Daniel Edelman from New York Red Bulls, Diego Luna from Real Salt Lake, Jack McGlynn from Philadelphia Union, Rokas Pukstas from Hajduk Split in Croatia, which is kind of a shock that he's involved in this, Nico Tsakiris from San Jose Earthquakes, Obed Vargas from Seattle Sounders, and Owen Wolf from Austin FC. And lastly, leading the attack, Cade Cowell from San Jose Earthquakes, Kevin Paredes from Wolfsburg, Quinn Sullivan from Philadelphia Union, and Darren Yappy from Colorado Rapids. All right, let's get into the reaction. I'm going to start from the attack, which is a little different, but I'm going to start from the attack here. Cade Cowell, I love the selection. I think it was a guarantee he was going to be in here. He's a typical starter from San Jose Earthquakes. He's going to be a great leader in the attack for this young U20 side here. Kevin Paredes from Wolfsburg, also a good introduction. He's been killing it for Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. However, I do know he will join in the knockout rounds instead of the group stage, which is totally fine. He'll be a really good addition later on in the tournament. Quinn Sullivan, a good opportunity for him to perform for sure. Name you don't hear too often amongst these youth guys, but I think he's definitely very promising for Philadelphia there, and he should do some good things. And then Darren Yappy from Colorado Rapids, he's the only real striker here. Which is definitely going to be interesting because I do think he's great. I do think he has a lot of promise, and I would not be surprised if we see a European move after this World Cup within a year or two. But he could do bits for this team. Being the only natural striker, he has a big role to provide for this team, and it should be interesting to see how they use him up top. A player whose name that was being thrown around there was, of course, Ricardo Pepi, but apparently they didn't even try to get him because of his, recent introduction to the U.S. men's national team. So understandable there. I would have liked to see him because I think he would have been really good in Argentina for the U20 side. But that's okay because he's killing over there in the Eredivisie in Netherlands. Although I do think Groningen just got relegated. But thankfully that's not his permanent club. He's going to go back to Augsburg afterwards. But again, this provides a bigger opportunity for Darren Yappy because a player like Ricardo Pepi can't come in and right off the bat take that number one spot. So Darren Yappy has the opportunity to prove himself on international stage and to other European clubs. In midfield, I think it's really good crop of players here as well. One big key thing is the inclusion of Pukstas from Hajduk Split in Croatia. He was out for injury, although he just came back. I think he did make an appearance in their most recent game, but he just came back from injury. He's also another player that's going to join them in the knockout stages instead of in the group stages, which is totally fine in my opinion. I think that's great, but the Hajduk Split, the team in Croatia, came out and said they were going to send him. So they must have changed their mind. Maybe he made a bigger push towards the team to let him go, which I would have hired him, and they seem to have approved and are sending him to Argentina with the team, which is pretty big. The other player I'm excited seeing is Nico Tsakiris. Again, apologies if I got that wrong, but he is a very promising midfielder for San Jose Earthquakes. One of the best wonderkids I think the U.S. has in their youth system. As with most of these players, this is a big opportunity for them to show off in front of European scouts, bigger club scouts, and things like that. And it could earn them a big move over summer or the summer afterwards or winter, or, vice versa. But this is key for these American wonderkids to get onto that next step in Europe and only propel the USA soccer culture even further. A midfielder that I did wish to see as well was Paxton Arison over at Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany. It's been known for a little bit now that they were going to release him. Unfortunately, I think this is another big opportunity for him because he's only just moved over from Philadelphia Union in the MLS to the Bundesliga. Hasn't really done much. We haven't heard his name too much, but that's, he's young. So there's no issue with that. This could have been something else to propel him onto the main stage. Could have earned more game time in Germany, or a loan move to a bigger club, something like that. But it is unfortunate that he's not here. I would have very much have liked to see that, especially with what his brother's been doing for the U.S. men's national team. He's a key part as well, and will only grow to be bigger. So highly fortunate that he's not here, but I'm sure it's for good reason. Hopefully for Frankfurt. Hopefully we see him kick it off a little bit more in the next season in Bundesliga. Defense, a lot of good names here that I'm really excited to see. Justin Che in Hoffenheim is a name we've heard about for a little bit, and I'm very excited to see what he can do on this U20 stage. Jonathan Gomez and Real Sociedad, a name that I feel like I personally don't hear too much, which is totally fine. Again, all these players are young, so it's not surprising. But this is another way to propel him onto the main stage. I can see him doing well. Caleb Wiley, who also features for the U.S. men's national team, and I'm sure will more in the Gold Cup as well. But he's a big player already for Atlanta, for the men's national team. He's starting to get acclimated to there, so he's going to be a key part in breaking down the side there for the U.S. Youth national team, which I'm very excited to see. And Joshua Winder, I forget his name as well. I forget how to pronounce his name as well, for Louisville City in the USL actually. I'm excited to see him as well. He did get called up in the last camp for the U.S. men's national team in their games. So it'll be interesting to see what these players can do on a bigger U20 stage in Argentina for sure. I mean, especially Joshua, who's only in the USL. Not to throw shade at the USL, because they are very good players and very good teams, of course. But this could earn him a move to a bigger side, maybe even in Europe. One that's, I would imagine, happens inevitably, but one that could happen even sooner because of his performances in Argentina, possibly. And in goalkeepers, like I mentioned earlier, Gagoslina is the clear number one option. I mean, being bought by Chelsea last summer, he has to make an appearance, but looks to be Chelsea's long-term option. I assume we'll go on loan this next year, and then we'll come back and we'll at least start off as a backup, if not move into that starting role within 2 or 3 or 4 years, which I would very much like to see as a Chelsea fan and an American. I very much want to see that. Overall, though, I'm very excited to watch this youth national team in Argentina during the U20 World Cup. Should be really good. I think they do pose a good threat to many of the nations around the world. So very excited to see how far they're going to go. And this, of course, as always, is a clear basis to see where the U.S. men's national team will be in the next 5-10 years, right? So if they do good here, it's only promising for us, for a team that's growing, a team that has the power to do something great within the next decade. You never know where they're going to go from here. So I hope you guys are going to watch the U20 World Cup as well. I think it'll be very interesting, even if it's not really your thing. Honestly, watching youth is not really my thing, but I want to make it more of my thing and watch this here. So it'll be good. I highly recommend watching it when it does occur. And with that, like I said earlier, I'm sure we're going to make more U.S. youth national team content when all this is happening in the World Cup and reactions and stuff. At least I would very much like to. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you like the video. And if you want more content on this stuff, hit the notifications so you know when those videos come out during the U20 World Cup. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or rest of your night whenever you watch this. I hope to see you guys in more videos in the future. And peace.